All right. You know what I love? I love when the karma train finds its station perfectly.
Oh.
And it did.
It did.
It did. It pulled in. I don't take a train very often. I live in the city, but I like it when you. I guess this applies to the L as well. Mm-hmm. When the L pulls up and it's perfectly between the marks, between the yellow lines. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they miss it a little bit. I like it when it happens exactly right. Well, this is what happened with the karma train. Remember this Shkreli character?
Oh, yeah.
Martin Shkreli, he's a guy, he's like a hedge fund dude, and he bought a bunch of biofarm companies, and he bought one that had a drug that was being used to fight collateral infections that take place when people are suffering from rare forms of cancer or acquired immune deficiency syndrome, AIDS. And this is a drug that was available for anywhere from $10 to $14 a pill. And when he bought the company, decided, because this is generally an insured drug for people who are taking it, but not always. There are a lot of people who don't have insurance who suffer from those diseases and need to buy these drugs, and it's life-saving, even though they may have to eat cat food to be able to afford it. He raised it to $850 a pill because he could. Right. No one could stop him. And as a matter of fact, this is from a couple of weeks ago, even though this Shkreli guy has endured all this criticism, and they asked, and he said, all right, fine, I'll lower the price, but he never did.
No, he didn't.
Here's what he said last week about this.
I probably would have raised the price higher, is probably what I would have done.
Why?
I think healthcare prices are inelastic. I could have raised it higher and made more profits for our shareholders, which is my primary duty. And again, no one wants to say it. No one's proud of it. But, this is a capitalist society, capitalist system, and capitalist rules. And my investors expect me to maximize profits, not to minimize them or go half or go 70%, but to go to 100% of the profit curve that we're all taught in MBA class.
Mm-hmm. Which makes you hate him just a little bit more, if that was possible.
Yeah, what an a-hole. I mean, and I like
doubles
that.
down. No, it wasn't enough. 5,000% hike on the one drug. My gosh.
Because he said it's an inelastic drug. It is not, which means, or an inelastic product, which means that the need is there, mm-hmm. and the people must buy it. They must buy it to live.
Right.
Does he even know what he's talking about there? He doesn't. So today, let me just move to the good side here. I'm rushing ahead to the end of the movie. Today, he gets arrested, put in handcuffs, taken away. He gets indicted,
and everybody cheered. I mean, the internets went crazy. Everyone's like, "Yay!"
Mike Monaco, our attorney, our legal analyst, our very dear friend, and birthday boy as of yesterday.
Oh,
yes, happy birthday, Mike! I'm sorry that we missed that yesterday on this program, but we got it. We were within 24 hours, and that's all that counts.
That qualifies.
Mr. Monaco, what was he indicted for today?
He was indicted for lying to investors, misleading investors, and then he was indicted for scheming to defraud the company that he built, this Retrofin, and their shareholders. And he's indicted for lying to the SEC.
Oh boy, I love when they get that. They always get him on that too.
Yeah. They get him for everything. And this guy did just about everything that he could have done incorrectly. That's what he did. He lied to investors after they were trying to getting them to invest in the company that he created, and then he lied to the shareholders after they invested in terms of what he was doing with the money. He did things, took the money personally when he was supposed to use it for corporate business. So he
did that. Now explain that a little bit. So he took the money personally. So and I think that the claim here is that he went to his private counsel and said, "Listen, I got a number of different businesses I bought here in the biofarm sector,
right?"
And he was basically, if you'll use the expression, robbing Peter to pay Paul to pay off to pay for those companies.
Right.
Why is that not legal?
Well, because it's not. You have investors. You tell investors to invest in a company, and you have to use the proceeds of their investment in the company. You can't use it personally. You can't use it to pay off, as you just said, other hedge fund investors that he already lost money for. So that's the reason. These are not personal funds. These are corporate funds.
And where does that fall on the profit curve that he learned about in MBA school? Where is that?
Right. That was on Friday, I think, the Friday of the first Friday of that class. That's where they said, "Do not steal from the investors."
So he must have missed that because he was going out early for.
He probably missed that class.
Yeah.
I see what he did
How
there.
about don't brag about it when you're like ruining people's lives by raising their drug price? Do they teach that?
Yeah, right. And try not to look so
sinister,
smug,
disingenuous when you're telling people you're going to raise the price of their tablets 5,000%,
right?
Just because you can.
Now, what was very special? We did talk to the guy who did this. This is that, and I. You talk about the market, and Mr. Shkreli, apparently, he's a relatively young man.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
He's like 32.
He's in his 30s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is, the 30s are a confusing decade, I think, for people. I think they really are. And
Decade
but
of your life.
You know better by then. You know
you should.
Right and wrong by then.
You're
not
should.
17.
No.
12 or
although,
5.
Your point is this. There are young people who have made a lot of money in this business, and you see them in Wall Street. You see them in Chicago.
You see them in Chicago.
But you see them really onAll Street, and you think it's like on the movies, the DiCaprio movie. The
Wolf of Wall Street.
Right.
I mean, they're there, and there's so much money, and all these other guys get the intention that I deserve that much money. I deserve that much money.
They certainly believe
they
they're
deserve
geniuses because of what they've done.
Yeah.
And when that sort of success, I think, hits guys in their 30s, people in their 30s, they start to really believe it, and then they have a crisis of conscience in their 40s.
Yeah.
They give it all away in their 50s, and then they make it all back at some point.
And two other things about this case. One, they indicted his lawyer, too. His lawyer used to be with Cat & Mutuin. Now he's with another firm, I think Case Scholler. But interestingly, he was saying, everything I did, Shkreli was saying, everything I did was reviewed by lawyers. Okay? So what did the government do? They indicted the lawyer.
My gosh.
And let me tell you something.
That's not good.
That's not common.
Not good for the lawyer.
It's not all that common, is it?
No, it's not that common. And but when it
that
does,
just tells you what a hated dude this guy is.
Well, it takes away the reliance on counsel defense, really, for all purposes, because you're not going to be at trial say I relied on this guy. Wait a second, he's sitting next to you. Okay.
Right. But then it would be a conspiracy at that point.
Well, it is a conspiracy. One of the other person that they referred to is co-conspirator number 1. Who was helping Shkreli? That gentleman's going to testify.
Oh boy!
Yeah, that person's going to testify.
Oh boy!
And we'll see if this lawyer Griebel ends up cooperating and testifying against Shkreli.
Oh boy! Oh, this couldn't be better.
Yeah. This now great.
I want to mention we did have a guy on the show a couple of months ago who came into the market, and this is the free market. This is another a class that apparently Mr. Shkreli missed in his MBA class. He's so proud of. Can we find out where he went to school? I want to know where he got his MBA from.
Let me look it up.
So they can close that school.
I hope it's not.
It's probably like Harvard.
I hope it's no place I went.
Yeah. Anyway, the point is, he gets another guy came in, a white knight came in, and was able to create this compound. He's got a pharmacological compounding company, which is basically what they take already existing compound chemicals and drugs on the market, and they recompound them for sale now. And so this compounding company found a way to replicate this drug, or at least create the same mechanisms that this drug creates in the body that allows it to fight off these infections that AIDS and cancer patients have. That Mr. Shkreli found a way to screw those patients, to death's door, to staring at their own grave. This white knight, who I believe is in Texas, somewhere in the Southwest, came forward and said, "Here's what we got. We're going to do it. We've got the drug." They fast-tracked it to the FDA, the compound through the FDA, and that is now available for $1 a pill.
Isn't that amazing?
So for 14 times less than it was on the market for before, and the company that Shkreli bought.
Yeah, well, that's good for Shkreli, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's good. I mean, they screwed Shkreli anyway, and now the government screwed Shkreli, and he's been double screwed, this Shkreli.
I wouldn't say
Isn't
that.
great?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that.
No?
No, it's not. He's not. justice is coming.
Yeah,
yes.
That's exactly right.
And as much as I'm a criminal defense lawyer, I love defending people. I defend almost anybody. I'm glad I'm not defending Mr. Shkreli. I have defended almost anybody, but I'm glad I'm not defending Mr.
The New
Shkreli.
Yorker has an article out this afternoon saying the criminal defense attorney, has raised his hourly fees 5,000%.
For Shkreli.
And he confirmed it.
That's a good point. I should do that if he calls.
Yeah.
Dear Mr. Shkreli, I'd be happy to help you, but my fees just went up.
5,000%.
5,000%. See, now, Mike's...
Look it up.
Actually, Mike's fees at this moment, if you took his fees and you raised them by 5,000%, they would be the national debt.
They would be a little more than
right.
the
From
drug.
$1,200 an hour to $60,000. He said, so what? He can afford it because he just bought that Wu-Tang Clan album. Remember?
How about that? He bought the
for
Wu-Tang.
$2 million.
He paid $2 million for a Wu-Tang Clan album. A historical album, apparently. They're trying to make value in historical albums.
Yeah, you
create
wonder
value for them.
if you'll have to give that up as part of this whole thing.
So then he was also, here I have a little more tape of the Shkreli guy, where he was asked, are you really trying to steal from the insurance companies?
Rather than the individuals.
Rather than the individuals here. Are you trying to be like a Robin Hood type?
Yeah.
Are you Robin Hood, stealing from the insurers and giving to the R&D community? Is that the...
Maybe, but before we self-label ourselves, I think the harder thing is, try to be a CEO yourself, see how it goes. Try to maximize profits and not get kicked out of a company, and let me know how that goes for you. Price drug's really low. You won't last very long.
Okay, so basically what this interviewer was doing, do you know who the interviewer is there? The interviewer was trying to give him a way out, and he turned on him. Yeah. Why don't you become a CEO and see how easy it is?
Are you Robin Hood? No, I'm more of the sheriff. I'm more like the sheriff of wherever the.
This is a Forbes interview. Forbes apparently was Matthew Herber is the interviewer, and Forbes put this up. Let me. Okay, now Mike, you have been in and around these facilities that house white-collar criminals. And a lot of people call them camp fed and things like that. But as do I, because I've been around them visiting your clients. I wouldn't find they're not pleasant. They're not pleasant.
They're not like state prisons, which are scary, and they're not like the federal. Well, there are certain federal prisons that are scary. I mean, there's one in Marion that's scary. There's one in Colorado that's scary. By that I mean they're housing very dangerous folks.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them are not. Most of them house people who are not in for violent offenses.
Now, what's going to happen here, though, is if he gets more than 10 years, which, based on the raft of things they've thrown at him, seems likely, he's not eligible for a camp. He's eligible for a federal prison.
That's exactly right. I'm always impressed at how well you know this.
I only know this because of your clients.
Yeah.
Again, and the guys who got more than a dime, as they like to say. Yeah. And even in those federal camps, there are guys who, there's some very tough guys who went from the big federal prison to the camp because now they're under the 10 years.
That's
and
true.
They qualify.
That's true.
Now, there's going to be somebody in there with this guy who had a relative who died of cancer, who's probably thinking to themselves,
or maybe an investor.
Right, right. He's thinking to themselves, well, if I have to spend a couple extra years here, maybe it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
I might get a couple months off if I were to do something.
This guy is not going to enjoy his prison time. Oh, it's too bad.
He's already free on bond.
Of course
Bloomberg is reporting. He's posted his $5 million.
He will. You know what? If I hate to suborn any sort of criminal act, misconduct at all. Yeah. But if I were his counsel, maybe not legal, I would say to him, get out of the country as fast as you possibly can.
No, he won't.
You can't do that, can you, Mike?
No, well, he's not supposed to. That's another crime if he starts doing that.
Really? I think he's going to. Really? I think this guy's going to have the worst time ever. I can't imagine being the judge in this. Imagine just the joy of a federal judge in this in the Southern District of New York. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah,
all right. No, it couldn't have been better.
There are worse cases.
Can't make it up.
Yeah.
There are worse cases to have. Yeah. This judge gives this guy 100 years.
Yeah. Well,
6 consecutive life sentences because he raised the price of a drug by 5,000%. All right, but that's not what he's charged with. It's not what he's charged with.